During the time of Lord Buddha, when people want to become a monk, people heard certain teaching that Lord Buddha gave. And because they appreciate the value of that teaching, that's why they want to become monk. But after being monk, it doesn't mean they're instantly free from their suffering. And so Lord Buddha will give them certain things to practice. For example, they will meditate on impermanence. They will meditate on unwholesomeness. Or meditate about the process of death. Now, His Holiness Dalai Lama himself, on the interview, and they ask him, what do you do each day, Holiness? We understand you get up 5 o'clock each morning. What do you do? He said, I get 5 o'clock to meditate. What do you meditate on? I meditate about death. And in fact, I meditate during the course of the day no less than at least 4 times. Sometimes more. So why is it so important about death? Because death is something, whether you like it or not, will come. Even an apple and a very nice orange put on the table, it go rot. There is a verse from India that says that this day is a very special day because this day is yours. Yesterday already gone. Tomorrow is yet to come. Nothing yet to know about tomorrow. But this day, this very day, which we call today right now, is for you to make use of it. For that reason, this day is special. I said to you, and said to you many times, whether from the teaching from the Dondrup and Namche, whether in teaching from the Longchen Ningtik, from the word of the perfect teacher, from many sources, I say the same thing. And teaching say like that. The best offering that you can make to the Buddha is to reflect on death and impermanence. One should always reflect on death and impermanence. When you reflect on death and impermanence, you will have no attachment to many things. The attachment thing, they're permanent. That's why you think it's so important. And yet, nothing is permanent. So what's the disadvantage when you not remember death and impermanence? If you do not remember death and impermanence, for a start, you will not remember Dharma. You will not remember the teaching. You will not remember the truth because death and impermanence is part of the truth. But you not remember it, then it's like you not remember other truth either. If you do not remember death and impermanence at all times, there's no reason for you to do any practice. There's no reason why you want to improve your mindfulness. Mindfulness means aware of things around you, aware of its connection to what's true and what is not real. Even if you try to practice, your Dharma practice will not be pure. You have no benefit. If you do not remember death at all times, then there's no reason for you to have any real resolve. So, if you do not remember impermanence and death at all times, it's very easy for you to lose determination to practice Dharma correctly, and you eventually drop it altogether. Knowing that you will continue to create negative action. So when you do not remember death impermanence at all times, then definitely you're not able to remember the Dharma. You definitely will postpone your practice, and even practice, the practice will not be true, will have no impact, you have no power, no benefit, anything. Knowing that you will lose determination. Why? It's like you keep doing the same thing and nothing really happens, then of course you will lose faith in it. You lose faith in it because you have not generated any result. Why not generate result? Because you did not follow the teaching. You follow me? Then the faith become useless. The faith become a faith of flaws. Knowing that you will continue to create more of the negative action, and then you will not be possible to attain any degree of liberation from suffering. And in that case, how can you help anyone? And then, at time of death, you have only experienced intense regret and having wasted your precious opportunity. So very important to remember death at all times. Now what benefit, what advantage there is if you remember death and impermanence at all times? If you have remembered that, you have become careful. You will not have made the same mistake as you made before. Your practice as a result will become pure, become very mindful. Why is pure? When it is mindful of its effect, it becomes pure. And the Dharma action will become very powerful and effective. Why is it powerful and effective? Because it has mindfulness. You have direction. You have a sense of purpose. It's never separate from the truth. Then, the benefit will begin right at the beginning of the teaching, right at the beginning of the practice. And you will continue right in the middle of the practice and continue right to the end of the practice. Right now, you're saying, I do this, I don't see benefit. Why? Because your practice is not pure. It has no mindfulness. No mindfulness. Like you see an actress playing the queen. She's mindful of the habit, of the mannerism of the queen. That's why look at, oh, you're just seeing the queen herself. You do not carry out all that. That's why if you do right from the beginning, there is benefit. If you remember death and pain all the time, they will not have time to connect to the thought of the 8 mundane concern. The mundane concern of attachment to transient pleasure, aversion to transient displeasure. So very important to understand. When you remember the permanent things and how death can come, then really you will not waste time on pointless activity. Like Milarepa, the great master, said, in horror of death, because of my fear of death, I went to the mountains. Again and again, repeatedly, and meditate on the uncertainty of the moment of death, of the hour of death. And finally, through this practice, I was able to capture the fortress of the deathlessness, the unending nature of mind. Now, all fear of death is over and done. For that happen, you also have no attachment. And then when you love, that love is no condition. It's all radiating. It's not right now that based on sentimentality that do nothing but polluting others' life. So there is way that you can meditate. You should meditate no less than a few times each day about death and impermanence. If you do that, you're not going to waste time on all this pretension, or pretending how smart and how clever you are. It have no benefit. Contemplate each of these 9 points. First, meditate on the fact that death is certain, regardless who you are, what you are. Death is certain. No amount of power in the universe can stop that. Even Buddha took on the form of Nikaya, when the time comes, he went to parinirvana. No power in the universe can stop death. What is born will die. Every person born will have to die. Even if you're a Greek Buddhist teacher, Buddhas, Bodhisattva, you still have to die. And then, if you look around you, in a matter of years, for sure within 100 years, unlikely any single person in this room will still survive. You look around, all corpse. All corpse. And there's something interesting about death. You can't run away from that. It's like, if I go to Switzerland and get my Charlotte, and then you cannot. You can run to all you want. You can say, I have a cave. You cannot run away from that. There's nowhere to run away to. And even if you are very wealthy, you cannot buy your way out. Even if you say, I'm a queen, I give you knighthood, you cannot buy your way out. No amount of money or fame can buy your way out. Even if you're very powerful, very strong, they say, I'm Bruce Lee the second. Well, Bruce the first one died. Now he is in his prime. I'm important Bruce Lee and Jet Li and all the other Lee and whoever. They all die. You follow me? No one can beat death. Even if you have miraculous power, ability of clairvoyance, you still cannot escape from death. Furthermore, you cannot add extra time to death. Oh, can I just go and buy some my mobile phone? I just buy extra value. I buy 10 pounds. I just buy 10 pounds every day. You cannot buy and add extra time to your life. Without a question, it's a certainty that each day, each minute that's gone means you are closer to death. And with each moment of life passes by, you come closer to death. And you still do not know how much time got left. It could just go like that. And from the time that you were born, you have been racing towards the final outcome of death. And with each breath you take, you are closer to death. And even when you are asleep, or when you're distracted, watching TV, watching Spider-Man 29, you could die right in the middle watching 29. The fact of the matter is, each moment we're getting close to death. Even while you're alive today, the amount of time you have available for practicing Dharma is actually very limited. Very limited, extremely limited before your death will come. Even if you live to 70 years, 100 years, half of that time is likely to spend on sleeping, on eating, and doing other kind of activity. Like working, shopping, watching TV. So when you look at that, very little time is actually available. That's why I said practice in the morning and practice in the evening. Even that, if you do it, it's still, look at the amount of the day, it's very limited, isn't it? That's why practice have to be 24/7. In the term is mindfulness. It's not about doing some prayer and go out there and argument with people, It's about, if you really believe in those prayer and those practices, then you should not act that way. You're just mouthing away. That's why there's no benefit. Why? Even your practice is a practice without separate from the mundane concern. And so, you see that very little time that you actually spend right now is actually practicing. And even when you are young and you say, well, I can put it off till much later, you say maybe later on I have more time. No. If you put it off now, you always will find other way to put it off. It's just one more distraction after another. And by the time you're old, you're just going to have too much regret. Even like sometimes when people make mistakes, I ask you, you can tell from the way they answer, guilt. It's not like, this is what I've done. No. It reflects that there are a lot of stuff that have not been done. And so you resort to such similar, I'm sorry, I apologize. Really? If you truly sorry, it will not happen again, would it? The fact of the matter is happened again and again because you were never really sorry. You have truly not yet understand what regret is, and so have not acted on it to ratify that. So, through this understanding, we need to generate the resolution, knowing that all of us will die. We can't escape from this. And so, when death comes, we still have no benefits, cannot generate liberation, then we'll be reborn in lower realms. For that reason, we need to resolve to practice Dharma. The second thing we need to remember is the time of death is very uncertain. You cannot dictate. I have a booking, I booked at 5 o'clock, and when I'm 89, on the month of July, it's a good month, and I'm just thinking of this nice restaurant, I'm going to have this nice dinner, and then if we just come around about 8:45, I'll just have my dessert and coffee. It doesn't work like that. You cannot bargain your way out of death. You can't say, can I just do it after the dinner party? This is end the episode I must watch. When you die, you die. You cannot plan. You cannot say pre-book. No one can pre-book that. The lifespan of a time and the lifespan of the realm in which you have this life is uncertain. Just because you're younger than parent does not mean you will die after your parent. There are many people who die before their parents. And even though you look very healthy, Bruce Lee, right? A specimen of health, when he died. None of your future plan. No matter your health plan, this plan, that plan, none of them actually will give you any support and guarantee. You cannot just plan in this way. Only great masters. Some of the great masters, they know when they die. They actually tell when they're going to die, and they can actually right to the exact moment. That's because of their mindfulness. Their mindfulness allows them to be totally in tune with everything else about how much life force is left. But for most people, they cannot control death. The great master, they can actually control at what time they live. And also how they take rebirth. You have no choice. Why? Right now, even you have a choice to act in according to teaching, you chose to go by your logic. You always have choice to do better, but so far the choice you make is very lousy. And guess what? The factors that bring out death, are so numerous. There's so many ways that we could lose our life. And there are very few things that keep us alive. The condition from the outside, whether it is our natural weather, maybe our accident, or catastrophe of nature, all that can cause death. Then internal condition that come from eating wrong type of food or sickness. Even things that normally associated with health may become conditioned to death. Like the food that you eat, you thought you're quite safe in the house roof could collapse. And medicine, you took medicine. When Bruce Lee died, he took a medicine which everyone will be fine, but if he's allergic to that, you can never tell. And the body, if you examine carefully, it's not exactly that strong. It's very fragile. It didn't take much for it to be damaged. Even forest and mountain will get destroyed. Even planet get destroyed. What choice you have over the control? You cannot control it. So for that reason, we need genuine resolution, knowing that you could die anytime. So you need to stop wasting your life. Wasting the time on mundane concern of attachment and aversion. And practice Dharma immediately from this moment on. And all monks should act like that. All nuns should act like that. All Buddhists should act like that. If you cannot, then really you are a very lousy Buddhist. And that's why there's no benefit what you do. Then, you also need to understand that only Dharma can help you at the time of death. Your money can help you, your possession can help you, your children can help you, your mother can help you, your father can help you, nobody can help you. No amount of money, no amount of possession, no amount of friends or family can help you. In fact, they only give rise to more attachment in you and create more pain and more fear in you. In short, no one can share your experience of death. Death is just for you. Each one have to experience their own death. No one can share with you. Not even in this body, you train so hard. You're like, I'm going to do weight training and do Tai Chi. Can it help you at that moment of time? No matter how much you pamper that body, it can help you. For that, in the genuine resolution, finally, see nothing else can help me. Nothing else really can help me. The only thing that can help me is through Dharma practice. That's why I need to devote my time, devote myself fully to practice Dharma mindfully. To say pure Dharma means to practice with the right kind of mindfulness. Like the great Pancha Lama said that, when a doctor has given up on me, when no ritual can help me, when friends have given up hope for my life, when everything I do is futile, bring no benefit, may I be blessed to remember the instruction of my Guru. But right now, you don't remember my teaching. Best of the time. How likely you remember at the time of death? 0. Even when you remember it, most time when you recall what you remember, most time they are not accurate. So how likely to remember it accurate at the time of death? Unlikely. Extremely unlikely. Sayadaw, the great master, he said that, leaving all that I must depart alone, But through not having understood this, I committed many types of evil, many types of negativity, forsake my friends, my family, and folks. All this negativity come about because I'm doing it for my children. I do it for my family. I do it because these people, I really hate them. I really do not like them. All the negativity come about. The attachment come about. The aversion come about. It's because of you think I'm doing it for the benefit of my family, my friends. I'm doing it in order to destroy my enemies. In fact, all the time you're doing it, the result is that it's negativity generating. Why? Because my enemies will in time become nothing. My friends, my family also will become nothing. I too will become nothing. Likewise, nothing else will exist. All will become nothing. From nothingness will come, from nothingness will go. Just as a dream that we experience, whatever things we enjoy, they just become a memory. Whatever have passed will not be seen again. Even within this brief life, many friends and enemies have passed, but whatever unbearable evil I committed for them, whatever unbearable evil, whatever unbearable wrong action I committed for them, while they may have gone, but this will still remain ahead of. For that reason, may I quickly attain realization, the realization of the ultimate truth, and free myself from all karmic condition. And then, through attaining Buddhahood speedily, lead all living beings, without exception, into the enlightened stage of lasting happiness. This is what one should do. If you cannot do that, then it's truly a waste.